A redress day is September 22, 1988. The house was sold on September 22, 1944. 44 years exactly after was a day of redress. And well, when they sold it, I know we can find out who lived in it, but some people bought it and they lived in it, and then it was sold again, and I don't know how many times it sold. You know, one day in August in 2003, the day that Mars was closest to the world, Earth, I just happened to drive by and there was a for sale sign on it right in front. I was so shocked. Anyway, we had a reading here because they thought, well, it'll be sold and so we'll just have this memory and we'll have a reading. But at that reading there were all these people, some wonderful people that I know who've died now, but they were here that day. And so a movement started, and so a miracle. It was bought in 2006 by the Land Conservancy. We raised the funds and it was held by them. So now we come to now, and the Land Conservancy is in debt. And I guess all these things that are happening in the courts are about that, and I don't know what's happening really. I'm waiting to find out. And but this is the home of my childhood that I remembered so well. I wrote about it in Obasan, and I just loved it so much. It was quite different now than it looks now. The big French doors and so on. So it was very bright, and much bigger. That wasn't there, so on. So it survived, and it survived, I guess, because I wrote the book Obasan, and people read that book, and so that's the reason it's survived. And I'm very grateful for that, for the people that love it. And I really wish so much that the Japanese Canadians could embrace this house. And there are many reasons that they can't. So some Japanese Canadians say it's not the Kogawa House, it's the Nakayama House. I'm a Japanese Canadian, and Japanese Canadians suffered not because of what we did, but because of the Japanese Imperial Army and the atrocities in Asia, and because we were at war. That's why Japanese Canadians suffered and lost everything. And in a way, I feel I am being blamed too for the wrongs that my father did. And that is being talked about and talked about and talked about in the Japanese press. So there's no running away from it, there's no hiding from it, but it wasn't me. And when I feel that people cannot come here to the Kogawa House because somebody else, my father owned it, I suppose I can understand that, but I feel punished for that. And so why am I talking about this? It's because for me the house stands for reconciliation. That's its purpose and its meaning, one of the things. The other thing is for writers to be here, live here, work here, and write about injustices that have happened to them. So it's a place for healing. And how can that happen? Those are my questions, and I have been told by some people why they can't come here or why they cannot support it, but there are other people that do. So I guess the big question is, how does healing happen? How do people stop seeing each other as enemies? And that's a big question in the world. And if we can do that in just a little way, one by one, group by group, then we can bring many people together. And that's why I'm willing to talk about my father, because I hope, although it's shameful, so hazukashi, But I want Japan and China to be friends. I want the world to be at peace, so I will go anywhere. I will do anything for that hope. And that's why I would love it for the Japanese Canadians and the Chinese Canadians who feel hatred for Japan. If they could come and we could talk together here. If the consul generals would come. If anybody would just come and we could meet and we could talk and we could cry together. And say, let's not run away from truth. But if you need truth, what you need more than truth is love. You need mercy. The only way to have that is by talking together. Otherwise, there's this big wall, and you don't know anything, and you don't talk about it, and you stay enemies, and you don't know why. Afterwards, your children don't know why they hate each other. It goes on for generations and generations. And the planet can't afford this. The planet, we do have to get together about climate change. We do have to do what we can do. We have to work together, whatever the forces are. All our enemies are our friends, and I believe this so much. So although I'm sick, I'm happy to be able to say this, and then, yeah.